Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Losers Side semifinals of Corsace Closed 2023, the much anticipated match between Karcher and tekkito, a very hotly contested one of the best players in North America versus one of the best players in Asia. Don't let the qualifiers seedings deceive you. Both these players absolutely have the potential to go off. My name is Taikani, and joining me today is iFlame. iFlame, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I am so excited for this one. We saw both of these players put up some incredible scores in their previous matches on these pools. And what makes this matchup especially interesting is both of these players have such different skill sets. You know, you look at Karcher, you've got the hard rock, you've got that aim focus, whereas tekkito much better at those kind of low AR gimmick, as well as just the hidden maps in general. And I honestly want to see the bans get changed up for both of these players.
Of course, one hotly contested thing here between these two players is going to be tech, something that both these players are both very proficient at. You're probably going to see stamina bans coming out from tekkito. It's, Karcher's main skill set, the stream farm player. But tech, both these players are about equally matched. tekkito maybe a slight on-paper advantage, but it could go either way. I'm very interested to see how they play on those kinds of maps.
Yeah, and Karcher, for the last two matches now, has banned out the DT3 and the DT1. But if you're Karcher this match, you absolutely can't afford to skip out on the no mod 6 ban. tekkito was just so much better. Got 10 times the score of Karcher. So Karcher is going to have to drop at least one of those bans. I think it's more likely the DT1 that he drops, but we'll see how it goes. And meanwhile, tekkito has banned a fair amount of DT as well, but realistically, you don't need to ban DT against Karcher, so that opens up tekkito to save his ban for something else.
And of course, I do want to mention that this is the losers bracket. Someone will be sent packing today. Both these players have worked very hard to get here. For tekkito, this is, kind of a repeat for Corsace. For Karcher, unfortunately, while this is his first Corsace Closed, this is also going to be his last. Unfortunately, announcing that after 2023 that Karcher will be retiring. So, this one may be a lot of stakes for Karcher here, with the public knowledge out there that this could be Karcher's last ever Corsace Closed match.
Yeah, and even if it is, Karcher has built up such a good legacy for himself, having incredible performances. You look at last year's OWC, you look at the Circle Circuit Cup after that, where he placed, I believe, top 4. And Karcher should be pretty happy with his tournament career regardless, and still has a few tournaments to go after this one. So even if he drops out of Corsace Closed, you've got Corsace Open coming up, followed by, of course, OWC 2023, and Karcher still has a few tournaments to go.
Yeah, and now, as we gotta shill iFlame. The Momokai Limited Edition Corsace Closed 2023 Tat Trio, made just for this tournament, will be disappearing shortly after. Make sure to get your hands on it, momokai.com/Corsace. Got your custom Corsace logo stickers. You've got Gatoron yellow switches. Some awesome keycaps fitting the theme of sort of the colors of this tournament.
Yep, they are limited edition, so get them now before time is up. And here we go into the pick bans.
And both players in the lobby. We'll get into it very shortly. Waiting for the roll to see who picks first and who bans first. Now let's look at the stats a little bit. They are going to be a little bit distorted. Karcher, as many people know, has had some issues throughout this tournament that have kind of nerfed his stats down to be a little inaccurate. You're looking at stamina actually being the lowest stat. Feel free to just place that as actually the highest in your mind. Karcher, a very good stamina player.
Alright, it looks like tekkito has won the roll, so is going to be getting the first ban. Possibly going to see the no mod 1. I think tekkito just keeps that ban from last match. Karcher is very good at the no mod 1, and I think it's going to be the no mod 6 ban. Karcher cannot afford to leave that up. And the bans are a little bit more open for tekkito. I could see one of these HR picks being banned out here. It's going to be the Hard Rock 1.
All right, let's see where Archer goes for the final pick here. Keto getting rid of aim and the slight mechanical tech. Karcher just getting rid of reading, not even wanting to deal with it. Nomad 6 hidden 2 are gone, and it's going to be immediate. Nomad 2, first pick for Karcher. This is going to be your massive flow aim streams.
Yeah, big flow aim, big cuts, super sharp angles. This one is incredibly awkward compared to your typical Nomad 2. But both of these players have put up solid scores on the map already in this tournament. Karcher with just over 400k, and tekkito, on the other hand, with just under 400k. And so I could see this one going either way.
I think both of these players in their previous matches won on the Nomad 2. So, maybe a little bit contested. That said, with Karcher having that slight on-paper advantage with the previous score, I can absolutely understand this first pick from Karcher. If you're feeling confident, this is the exact kind of pick to go with, because this is a confidence breaker for a lot of people. Only the people who are the most confident on this will pick this first, and I really like it from Karcher. Such a talented stream player. I love the Nomad 2 first pick.
Yeah, and Karcher picked this same first pick in the last match as well, and that's how you know Karcher is so confident on the pick. Even though tekkito has put up a solid score, Karcher is confident that he can beat that score every time, and gonna look to do so again, as we should be getting to the Nomad 2 pretty shortly here.
And the map starting here, the beginning to an end. Someone will again be walking home from Corsace Closed 2023 after this. Karcher versus tekkito. Someone's end and someone's ticket into the finals weekend. Here we go. The second round of semifinals losers bracket begins now with this Nomad 2. You're going to see Karcher find some early act drops. Not going to matter too much, but tekkito's going to have the slight lead for now.
Yeah, we do see both players drop at the same spot on the easier section of the map, so those misses gonna cancel each other out, and this is a relatively easy start to the map. This map really gets brutal into the second half. We do see another big drop from tekkito, and that's gonna be sizable because accuracy 4% behind Karcher already. Gonna hope to recover, but here we go into the first tricky streams coming up in about 5 to 10 seconds now, and that's where we're gonna start to watch out for bigger drops.
Yeah, now the thing with tekkito's misses is both of them were chain misses, so he lost a lot of accuracy. He gave an early lead to Karcher even before the second break, and he's going to have to do a lot of work to build that accuracy back up, especially as we get into this first ki here, and Karcher is holding a strong 99.4%. There's tekkito finding another huge chain miss right there. Accuracy dropping all the way from 97 to 94. No combo to speak of, especially fighting against Karcher. Still holding the 99.4, 600 combos. We get through some of the hardest streams. We get into a slower section, and he's already at 300k.
Yeah, and tekkito missed that entire stream, down to 92% accuracy now, and Karcher looks so incredible. We see how good the Nomad 2 is for Karcher. I mean, we saw impressive accuracy last time around, but even compared to the last match, this is night and day. He's going to pass that score in about 30 seconds.
This is completely different to the Karcher that we've seen so far in the tournament. This is the Karcher that people have been expecting this whole time. Nearly already passing his previous score. tekkito finding another chain miss. It doesn't even matter at this point. Karcher is way too far gone already. And as we get back into the streams, Karcher finally finds a break, but he's done his job. It is too little, too late for tekkito as Karcher's slowly approaching 500k.
Yeah, finds a couple more misses, but the deed is done for Karcher. This one is not even going to be close here, and an incredible first pick for Karcher, and that's going to give him some much-needed confidence coming into this match. I mean, you look at the statistics from the last two matches, and I think it's fair to say that tekkito, as a whole, had better scores across the board, but Karcher making a statement on this first pick with a 550k on this absolutely brutal Nomad 2 pick.
A statement indeed, a statement of comfort. Finally, the Karcher that we've been waiting to see coming out to play in the semifinals round, topping his last score on this, the best score so far on this map this weekend. Karcher with 561k is going to take a Nomad 2 first point. It's going to be tekkito's pick next.
Certainly is, and I think tekkito has a lot of options now. Of course, Karcher had no choice but to ban out those Radiant picks, the Nomad 6 and Hidden 2, and leaves all the DTs open, but tekkito is going to go for the Nomad 3 instead. I was able to put up nearly 500k on this map last time around, so I think a strong pick for tekkito here.
100%. This was not played in Karcher's last match. Kind of a mystery in the air, but this is kind of tekkito's skill set here. This really high SR ult is something that tekkito is known for being super, super good at. I love this first pick from him. I love seeing the Nomad first picks, where you just have like the raw skill set kind of come out. Those are always my favorite first picks, and seeing the double of that is just wonderful.
Yeah, it's not so affected by the mods, so you really get to see the player's skills shine in Karcher. Although I do think a fairly capable alt player isn't necessarily known for the alt style like tekkito is, and a tekkito should certainly have an advantage on this one, but here we go. This one has a lot of big spacing patterns, a lot of tricky back and forth jumps, and it's really easy to get caught out anywhere on this pick.
100%, and it is going to be tekkito to find the first break, finding a couple misses, a couple 50s, giving an accuracy advantage to Karcher, as well as a combo advantage that he's going to drop right there, going right over back to tekkito as I was saying that.
Yeah, I think we're going to see lots of misses throughout this map, and it is a fairly long map at just over 3 minutes, so the early misses aren't going to matter too much, but you're going to want to start to watch the accuracies as Karcher does find another drop.
Now, tekkito does have a pretty big combo advantage by this point. 200 combo is pretty significant on this map especially, as well as the percent accuracy advantage. And as we get into the KI here, tekkito is just holding that combo strong, which he needs to do to combat against Karcher. Not really getting caught out by any of the big cuts so far.
Yep, both players looking good through the start of this KI. It is the end of the KI that tends to be the hardest though, and there goes Karcher again. That's a really big combo advantage for tekkito now. And tekkito holds, that's going to be massive because we've got a slower section here, and it's just going to be a free combo advantage for tekkito.
Yeah, tekkito's going to keep going. It's a bit of a slower section, going to start to pick up a little bit, challenge the aim control a little more, but tekkito doesn't care. This is his sort of homeland here. He's going to take it away, finally finding a break, but the damage is already done. More than 100k lead over Karcher.
Yeah, and we're halfway through the map, and Karcher's continued to find misses on the easier sections, so despite the miss from tekkito, Karcher just doesn't have anything to make a comeback with, and we're going to need a complete meltdown from tekkito if Karcher wants any chance of making a comeback.
Now the thing is, I really don't expect tekkito to have the kind of performance that would let Karcher come back. Karcher also needs to hold, but as I say that, there's a chain miss from tekkito, dropping the accuracy down to Karcher's level, as well as giving Karcher a combo advantage. That said, Karcher would need to FC the rest of the map and, maybe get 1 or 2 more breaks from tekkito later on.
Yeah, at this point, the 300 combo advantage is not going to be enough. We see tekkito build up a 600 combo advantage early on, and it's the kind of lead you need to match if Karcher wants to make a comeback here. Now, there is certainly time, so Karcher is far from out of it yet, but like you mentioned, cannot afford another miss, or is this going to be an immediate point for tekkito? And into the last KI here, this is where all the pressure is on Karcher. And needs a miss from tekkito as well, but just
there it is!
There goes tekkito! I don't know if there's
needs to hold to the rest of the map.
There goes Karcher, that's a big miss, and that's going to be the point for tekkito.
Yeah, Karcher had the chance to take it back. The map was just barely dense enough, but finding that chain miss right there, barely in tekkito's favor. tekkito's going to take the first pick. And there we go. We are 1-1. Both first picks locked down.
Nomad 3 paid us off in the end, but I have a feeling that was a lot closer than tekkito was expecting for the first pick.
That's just the thing about the level of skill that we see here. No pick is going to be totally comfortable. Karcher doesn't have comfortable picks after that Nomad 2 for sure. And I believe I'm hearing Hard Rock 3, Nothing But Theory custom map by Gordon featuring Jazag. This one's going to be your Hard Rock tech.
Yeah, and Karcher's not only so good at the tech, but so good at the Hard Rock. And as good as tekkito is on these tech picks, not nearly as good on the Hard Rock as Karcher, and so I think Karcher should have a solid advantage here. This one went completely unpicked in tekkito's earlier match, so there wasn't a map that tekkito really wanted to touch, but going to be forced to play this time around.
Yeah, now we have seen fairly low scores on this map. Nothing too crazy. 362k was what Karcher won with last time he played this map. So this one probably going to be a little bit of Break City here.
Yeah, it's an absolutely brutal map. It is definitely tech focused, but fair amount of aim control thrown in here as well. I mean, what more could you expect from a Lapix map?
100%. Again, I do have to mention this is a custom map. Actually, every map that we've seen so far has been a custom. First the Nomad 2 from Errol, then the Nomad 3 from Pigeons, and now the Hard Rock 3 from Jordan featuring Gazag. Love our custom mappers putting so much work into Corsace Closed.
Yep. Huge shout out to the custom mappers who have put out a lot of bangers, some really good maps so far in this tournament, and are going to continue to do so as the tournament goes on. And into the first KI section here.
I do want to sort of shift our attention to the accuracies here. Karcher holding a near percent ac lead, but he is going to find a huge drop that renders that entire sentence null right there. No combo, and suddenly dropping 3% below tekkito in terms of accuracy. That was not the kind of drop you love to see. tekkito is going to hold a huge advantage all of a sudden.
Off to a very strong early lead, but there is so much of this map left to be played, and this map does not get any easier, so there's going to be plenty of time for tekkito to find a break, but this slow section is going to help tekkito out a little bit. This is about 100 combo that's just going to be free for tekkito and Karcher, and any free combo is going to be advantage to the side of tekkito.
And tekkito is going to be able to climb away with it for a little while. We're getting into a build-up section here, but here's the thing. We're going into something a little more techy in just a second, which is exactly what tekkito plays. And with the already existing FC and accuracy advantage, it's going to be a tough climb for Karcher to catch up to tekkito at this point, so long as tekkito holds, almost breaking right there. But he's not going to find the break. He's going to keep going on and on. The shake doesn't matter when you're still comboing.
And tekkito is somehow still on FC despite these shakes. These attack patterns are so brutal though. This is where it's so easy to find misses. These ladders are deceptively easy to miss on. And there goes tekkito. That's a big drop. Now it's Karcher out to a 600 combo advantage. And if Karcher can hold on through this section, he's going to be in a really good spot to make a comeback, but finds the miss, and now things are going to be even. And tekkito is looking good to get an early break point.
And look at that. A near 100k difference. Such a huge advantage for tekkito on a map like this where people aren't really getting super high scores. It's going to be really hard for Karcher to fight this. tekkito putting up one of the best scores of the weekend on this map right now. 300k at this point in the map is nothing to scoff at. tekkito's just continuing to take it away as Karcher finds even more breaks, even more accuracy drops. It's a tekkito game here. This feels like an entire mispick from Karcher.
Certainly does, and I mean, this one could have been close for a second if Karcher hadn't found that miss, but ends up doing so. This is looking like a decisive pick for tekkito as Karcher finds yet another chain of misses, and looks like we're going to be seeing a very, very early breakpoint here, and tekkito going to be so happy with that one.
And with that, it's basically over already. 100k difference at this point in the map is basically a death sentence. I doubt that Karcher has the ability to make it up. That said, he doesn't have the slightest combo advantage, the slightest accuracy advantage, but I think it's just too much in tekkito's favor. The score lead is going down far too slow to make a difference.
And I don't think you can really even fault Karcher for this pick. This is not something you ever expected tekkito to be able to put up such a strong score on. Like you mentioned, possibly one of the best scores of the weekend so far, and Karcher actually getting a very comparable score to last match. I think almost identical, and it just wasn't enough
beating it slightly.
Yeah, by about 5,000. And tekkito holds on just a little bit longer at the beginning, and on maps like these where the ending is so tricky, it is so much more important to hold on to those big combos early on because it's so hard to make that combo difference up later on in the map. And This is the DT that Karcher has banned out consistently in his last two matches, now left open, and tekkito is going to look to take full advantage.
All right, I'm hearing the Kendrick Lamar. I'm hearing a copyright strike incoming. N95, the DT3. This one has gone banned all weekend so far. This is going to be your really, really weird DT sort of aim control alt.
And I think this is the first time we're seeing this all weekend. Like you said, has been banned out every single match so far. And smart pick from tekkito. No mod 3 worked out well, so now he's going for the DT alt pick to follow it up. This one is pretty short as well, so accuracy going to be a pretty big factor.
100%. This also explores some elements of finger control. Not terribly hard, but is very present in this, and it's going to affect accuracies quite a lot as we get into it. tekkito holding a better accuracy as both players continue to find drops. It's an 8% accuracy advantage for tekkito for just a second there.
Yeah, Karcher just has not looked comfortable on the pick early on. Just is not having a very good time reading any of these patterns. There's tekkito, despite the misses, at least looks like he's able to read the patterns and is able to hit these notes. Both players hold on to that first tricky jump section. There goes Karcher. tekkito holding on for now. tekkito trades the miss back, but has built up a solid advantage now, nearly 2 times the score of Karcher.
The thing is, Karcher needs more and more breaks from tekkito to make up for the insane accuracy deficit here. As we get into a slower part, it's going to give tekkito just a little bit longer to stall Karcher out, which is exactly what he needs, is stalling. Lead is remaining fairly stagnant for now. Karcher finding a break right there. I'm tempted to say it might already be over.
Yeah, I think it's more than over. I mean, nearly an 8% accuracy advantage. Karcher's not finding any combos or any of them out, and I think these patterns, along with the AR-10, are just a little bit too fast for Karcher, and this is going to be another decisive point for tekkito.
Now, tekkito giving himself the smallest early lead as far as the scoreline goes. 3-1, an early breakpoint is big. Of course, consolidating it with this DT3 as well. tekkito has that little bit of mental advantage over Karcher in the early part of this match. And now Karcher's going to have to start picking a little more carefully. Don't want to give tekkito another breakpoint at this point.
I mean, Karcher does have quite a few options still. The High Rock, too, that was banned out against him last match. We know how good Karcher is on these precision picks. I think that would be a solid one. Even potentially the HD3, Karcher put up an absolutely absurd 700,000 points on that pick in his last match. And I think the question is, does Karcher feel like that is just how good he is on the map? Or was that a coincidence and is not confident he can get the same score again? But it's going to be the no mod 5 instead, so Karcher...
All right. No mod 5. This one's going to be your sort of speed, kind of stamina heavy, but still quite a bit of emphasis on flow aim.
Okay, audio died for a second. I think we're back.
Yep. You are back.
Love to hear it. Yeah. No mod 5, not a pick I was expecting into tekkito, but Karcher did actually put up a solid score, but so did tekkito. tekkito put up 500,000 points on this map compared to the 360k of Karcher, and honestly a really surprising pick. So Karcher must be confident that he can beat the 500k score, and not only that, but also has to hope tekkito can't improve on the score from last time around.
Of course, we will see as we get into the match. You never quite know what's going through players' head as they pick these. I imagine, you know, it's an early pick for Karcher. Maybe he has some good practice scores. A little shaky on the aim so far, but doesn't really matter too much. It isn't an aim map. That said, tekkito does have a pretty early act advantage.
Yeah, but we have seen this map be absolutely matched through. I think it was Zoodinator earlier today who had something like a, was it an 89% FC on the map?
That was DT2.
DT2, okay. going to be the early miss for Karcher. So once again, we see tekkito taking the early lead, and we've seen this time and time again. And it's a question of, can Karcher make up the score advantage later on in the map? But there's still over half of the map to go, so there is plenty of time for tekkito to find a miss. But with Karcher finding another miss now, tekkito is very, very close to putting this one past the point of no return. Hits that longer burst, and honestly, tekkito only needs to hold on for another 400 combo, and he's going to have this one in the bag.
100%. Said we're getting into a little more of a control-oriented part. Kind of stuff that can really trip you up if you're feeling scared, and we're seeing, tekkito might be a little bit. That said, this combo is taking it away here. And advantage is just really hard for Karcher to scale. Karcher needs tekkito to break, like, now.
Yep, but it's Karcher who finds the break instead, and this is going to be tekkito now going up 4-1 here. And Karcher just never stood a chance on this pick. Are we going to see tekkito close out the full combo on this?
Now I'm a little bit worried for Karcher, as with that full combo, tekkito has taken a second breakpoint up 4-1. And with his pick next, he has the chance to consolidate it and get up to match point early.
That is such an absurd score by tekkito. I mean, the thing is, Karcher didn't even beat tekkito's score from last match, which is around 500k, so just feels like a pretty poor pick from Karcher. I mean, if I had to guess, Karcher probably has much, much better scores than that in practice before the mats, and unfortunately just couldn't pull it off this time around. But now Karcher's in a really bad spot, 3 points down, and it's tekkito's pick.
tekkito, I'm feeling like we could just see a DT2 to consolidate speed with speed. Obviously, an FC on No Mod 5 looking really good on speed. Might be an avenue for tekkito to explore rather than something a little more risky.
And it feels like tekkito can honestly look at the DT2, can look at the DT1, and either of those are probably pretty solid picks for tekkito, and it's going to be the DT1 first. Expect to see the DT2 next for tekkito, and this is why we've seen Karcher ban out the DT3 and the DT1 so often throughout this tournament, and Karcher's going to need to put up a really big performance here to bring this match back, because it feels like tekkito still has a lot of options available to pick, and right now it's Karcher falling behind.
Yeah, this one, not exactly a Karcher map. Really fast, 270 BPM aim, AR 10.5, maybe not a zone of comfort for either of these players in particular, but tekkito, I would say, is definitely more advantage on this. I do really like this sort of consolidation pick to the No Mod 5.
Yeah, and I think while Karcher is very capable of hitting the aim on these maps, even the burst, I think just not super comfortable with the No Mod 5, although it is tekkito with the earlier miss. But is on the slow section, so shouldn't make too much of a difference. I expect we're going to see tekkito recover on this one, and it's going to be into the first Ki that we're really going to start to see the big drops come out.
And as we go to the Ki, both players are going to find misses. That benefits Karcher more than anything. Karcher does have the ever so slightest lead, but as he drops accuracy, he's going to start going the way of tekkito.
Yeah, it's something like a 4,000 point lead. There goes another big drop from tekkito, and Karcher is actually nailing these jumps so far. Gets to that first big tricky jump section, and is going to be able to start to build a solid score lead over to tekkito early on, but this is a fairly long map for a DT pick, and there's a lot of time left to go.
100%. Karcher finding a lot of act drops in that more tapping heavy section. Is it going to help? He built basically no lead despite having the combo lead. It's because of those act drops. It's a little scary.
Yeah, accuracy going to keep things at least close, but at the end of the day, Osu is a combo game, but there's a big miss out of... Okay, traded back, and it's a reset on both sides.
Now halfway through, 30k is not the kind of lead that you want to have. These players are very, very close to even.
But tekkito is down by 30,000 points, so any trade of misses is going to favor Karcher because tekkito needs to have some decent combo to make a comeback with, and if tekkito cannot hold on through the last big jump section, it's going to be really hard to find that combo, and here it goes, both players nailing that section. It's still anyone's game, but tekkito needs a miss from Karcher, and needs it soon.
And here we go into another big jump section for the Kian. It's going to be tekkito to fall first. Karcher doesn't trade it out, and now he's going to start taking it away. Now he has that significant combo advantage that he needed. And now Karcher is staring at the face of a potential breakpoint right here, hitting all the stupid hard triangle jumps that he was breaking on earlier. Karcher not staring at the void of despair quite yet. It's a breakpoint, and it's 4-2. No tekkito match point quite yet.
And this is the DT1. I mean, what is going on in this match? This is one of the picks that you expected to be pretty much free points for tekkito, and Karcher wins it by a full 140,000 points.
That was so essential for Karcher. To let tekkito get up to match point that early would have essentially been a death sentence. Karcher narrowly avoiding it. That said, to even it up, he still has to win his next pick as well as tekkito's next pick, and that is far easier said than done. Karcher has to be very, very careful, but if he keeps playing like he did on that No Mod 2 and that DT1, he absolutely has the ability to tie it up. One thing is, he cannot pick speed. If he picks DT2, it's over. It's tekkito's game.
Yeah, Karcher still has a lot of good pick options, you know? I think the Hard Rock 2 should be pretty Karcher favored even. There it is. Karcher is so good at these precision picks. This is why we've seen, I think, Hard Rock 2 banned out against Karcher in almost every match he's played so far in this tournament.
Alright, iFlame dying again, but I'm going to have to agree a little bit. Karcher, a very, very good precision player, one of the best in this tournament. Hard Rock 2, a very traditional precision map as well, not the sort of alt BPM that we saw last week. Just going to benefit Karcher quite a lot.
Yep, and I think another good pick from Karcher, you know, despite the breakpoints on both sides, I feel like the picks have been pretty good so far. The really only questionable pick to me so far has been the No Mod 5, but regardless, Karcher is going to go right back into this one and look to get a point back, bring this one within 1 point.
100%. tekkito, though, not the worst precision player in the world. Absolutely has a chance to steal this from under if Karcher isn't looking at his best. We'll see as we get into it. tekkito has the early ag advantage, giving him the ever so slight early score advantage. Just 2,000 points, but 2,000 points, as we've seen, can mean a lot.
Yep, and we have seen it. tekkito put up 400,000 points on this map already, so you know that Karcher needs to put up a good score, but certainly very capable of doing it through. Both players miss on the exact same pattern. tekkito does follow it up with another miss, so it's going to be the tiniest of advantages to Karcher with that slight accuracy lead.
And that slider break right there from tekkito is going to start to matter a lot more. Now Karcher, with a pretty already established accuracy lead, does have a combo lead. Another break from tekkito, solidifying it more and more. tekkito's starting to find struggles, starting to find nerves, and Karcher isn't trading that out.
No, look at the accuracy from Karcher on 99% on Hard Rock 2. Finally does find the miss, but has built up a solid score lead, and so tekkito is going to need more than a 60 combo advantage to make any sort of comeback here, and needs to recover the accuracy, but there's a drop from tekkito. And we're going to need a meltdown from Karcher halfway through the map now. There is still time for tekkito to make a comeback, but that following up with another miss is certainly not going to help.
Just a second ago, it felt like Karcher might have been knocking at death's door, but on this Hard Rock 2, you're seeing a more refined sense of control that you expect from a player like Karcher. And suddenly an over 100k lead already solidifying it. I doubt that tekkito can make the comeback at this point in the map, especially with a Karcher looking this terrifying, crossing the 400k line. I think it just might be over here.
Yeah, I think there's a miss from Karcher, but I honestly don't think there's time left. 100,000 points is a lot to make up.
Yeah, Karcher already well past where tekkito saw his score end up in his last match. That said, Karcher finding a second break, but tekkito's going to trade it out, and that is basically going to be it. A chain miss, knocking tekkito's score down significantly, and Karcher winning by over 100k here. Karcher is suddenly looking really back in the game. We are 3-4.
Yeah, tekkito has 2 picks left in this match potentially, and Karcher only needs to win one of them. So Karcher certainly is in a very good spot now to bring this one back, and I do think we're going to see the DT2 probably out of tekkito. Just keep up the DT picks as long as they are available, but it's going to be the hidden one instead, and this one's interesting because Karcher is quite a good aim player.
That said, tekkito is one of the best hidden players in the world. This is absolutely a cover pick as well. He has the hidden 3 in the back pocket, the hidden flow in, should he choose to use it. tekkito finally bringing out the hidden, finally bringing out his comfort mod of choice. I do really like this, and maybe a bit contested, but on paper, I just love seeing tekkito play the hidden here.
Yep, I think certainly tekkito favored on paper, but as good, knowing how good Karcher is on this aim could go either way, but that's a really big drop from Karcher early on, misses that entire pattern, and so that's going to be a very early accuracy lead for tekkito. We see Karcher continue to find misses here, not going to be helping the case, but is recovering the accuracy a little bit.
As we get into the commerce section, tekkito going to have a pretty solid lead. Those jump scare patterns can change everything, and you see Karcher find another miss on them. This one not treating Karcher the best. Reminder, by the way, that for Karcher to catch up, for Karcher to win this match, he does have to win another breakpoint on tekkito. So this is a little dangerous here, as tekkito has over 100k lead and doesn't look like he's slowing down as we get into this Ki. Finally finds a break, but Karcher does not have a big combo advantage over him at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's going to need more to that, and time again, we've just seen Karcher miss on these kind of highly spaced wiggle patterns, and luckily does have a break from those, and tekkito finds another miss, so now we're going to see Karcher start to build back the score lead. And if Karcher can hold on to this combo, he does have a chance back into this one. The window is open, and he actually does hit those wiggle patterns, but has to get through a few more of them.
I also have to point out the accuracies here. Karcher is lacking by about 1.5% compared to tekkito. That gives the ever so slightest advantage to tekkito, which matters so much. tekkito finding a chain miss right there, and suddenly everything I said does not matter at all. The lead is right back in Karcher's side here. And now Karcher going to start to build it massively away. There's a miss right there. And now we're basically deadlocked even.
It's 20,000 points. This is anyone's game going into the ending. tekkito has the edge right now, and you see the scoreboard going back over, but any accuracy drops, any misses, there's a big drop from Karcher, and it's going to go over to tekkito.
tekkito find the chain miss right after, but it's not going to be enough. Karcher's already got what he wanted. Another chain miss on that stream right there is going to solidify it. It's a tekkito point. tekkito 5-3. We are at match point.
Yeah, and Karcher 1 point away now from being sent home, put up such an incredible combo into the ending to nearly bring that one back, but some accuracy drops, some chain misses in the end, and tekkito just barely was able to take it. Karcher does have the next pick though, and again, still does have some options. There is that no mod 4 that's still open, and it is going to be the no mod 4 for Karcher.
This no mod 4 is Karcher's final pick. Everything is riding on this and whatever tekkito picks next. tekkito's options are DT2 and hidden 3 should Karcher win this no mod 4. If Karcher doesn't win this no mod 4 and tekkito takes another breakpoint, that is it, and Karcher's run in Corsace Closed 2023 is officially over. At match point, no more mistakes can be made. You have to be playing your best possible game.
Yeah, but the information is here for both players. Each one of them has played the map once already in this tournament, and they got nearly identical scores. Karcher edging out tekkito by about 20,000. And so this one is really anyone's game, and Karcher, I think, taking a big gamble with this one, but we'll see if it works out. We do see a couple of accuracy drops, both players having strong accuracy early on.
In fact, we're actually deadlocked. Even accuracy for just a moment before it goes back over to tekkito's side. Tekkito with the slightest, ever so slightest advantage. As we get into the slow section, nobody finding any drops quite yet. It is a double FC. So we get nearly a quarter into the map.
Still not into the hardest section of the map. And tekkito does have a slight advantage just off of some extra slider rounds. And here we go into the first tricky section. And there goes tekkito. That's a really big drop. Karcher off to a pretty strong advantage now. And the accuracy is so incredible from both these players. And there goes a big drop from Karcher now.
Yeah, a chain miss is going to mean a lot. Giving tekkito an accuracy advantage as well as a combo advantage. Really scary stuff here. Tekkito has more than 1% on Karcher. Going to start to take it away as Karcher finds another break just to solidify it. Just seconds away from being tekkito's lead again.
Yeah, and the score is going to flip back over, and tekkito is going to be able to hold on for now, and accuracy remains in tekkito's favor. Karcher likely going to need to hold on for the majority of the map. There's a big miss from tekkito, so window back into this one for Karcher if he can hold on through these tricky aim control and slider patterns. Does so for now.
Over aim on the stream, and then now as we get into the tumor sliders, Karcher's starting to look more and more comfortable. A second break from tekkito's going to solidify it. Karcher's lead, but not for long if he were to find a break. As we get into a slower section, Karcher's still holding that combo advantage, and he's built that accuracy back up. Karcher's going to get a chance to build up some free combo, to build up some free score, something he desperately needs. And at the break, both the players see the scoreboard. They know what's going on, that they know that Karcher has a 12,000 point advantage. It's not much, but it's something, especially for two players as evenly matched on tech as these two right here. This is so big for Karcher. We're about to get into a harder section, though. Anything could change. tekkito finds a chain miss. And now, a bigger lead for Karcher, a bigger lead than we've seen literally all of this map. tekkito continually finding drops, dropping the accuracy lead that he had, dropping all of the combo he's building up, continuous chain misses, continuous 50s, and Karcher's starting to build it back up. Already 100k over tekkito. Karcher's back in the game. He's still here.
And Karcher has done it. He has built up the necessary score lead, put up the big combo that matters most, and Karcher is going to live to see another map.
For sure. The question is, what map are we going to see? There are two possible picks. Hayden 3, DT 2. Those are the only maps tekkito can pick with, and both maps I would honestly give to tekkito for as far as on-paper advantages go. Hidden flow aim and speed stamina. I mean, we've already seen the speed stamina come out with these two players, and the hidden flow aim is just kind of a tekkito classic. I'm a little scared for Karcher here, but I want to believe in the tiebreaker. I want to believe that it's not quite it for the South Korean superstar. We'll see what tekkito picks, what tekkito will use to determine it, and it's going to be DT2.
Yep, back to the DT that has been abused against Karcher all tournament long. tekkito winning the Nomad 5 earlier on, going to go right back to the speed, but we have seen one player mash through this DT2 before and secure a big point. Question is, can Karcher do the same? Now this is 247.5 BPM, so definitely on the faster side, but certainly not impossible.
And Magic is only going to get you so far. The match score that we saw from Zudi was only 550k, less than half of the possible maximum score with DT. Now, that's not something that you're going to want against tekkito, such a seasoned speed player. When we already saw his insane Nomad 5 full combo. You are going to need to put actual effort into this DT2 score. A double tap match fest is not going to work for Karcher. He has to play the top of his game. He has to play for his life on this speed pick.
Yeah, but keep in mind, tekkito did ban the DT2 out in his last match. Now, to be fair, that was against Rimuru, who's obviously one of the best speed players in the tournament. So here we go. Potentially the last map for Karcher. Can he beat out tekkito on this speed stamina pick?
Now tekkito has guaranteed himself a tiebreaker. If Karcher wins this, it just goes to a TB. If tekkito wins this, the match is over. So Tekkito in a place of a little bit of comfort. Both these players trading out act drops at the beginning of the map. It's a slight accuracy advantage to Karcher, but not anything making a huge world of difference. Only about 0.3%.
Yeah, we have seen the early stages of this map be very close time and time again. It is when we get into the first guys, it is when we get into the later stages of the map as the players start to run out of the stamina. So we start to see the big drops, we start to see the accuracies fall apart, and we really start to see who can hold up on this map and who can't. And so far, both players are playing incredibly. There goes Karcher with the first big miss. Tekkito is holding on, and this is what we were worried about. Tekkito has a good chance to run away with this now.
Tekkito already with a Nomad 5 FC, but he's looking a little shaky. He's looking a little scared on these patterns. It's not completely in his ballpark, but this lead that he's amassed is going to mean a lot. 40k, as we've seen, can mean a lot between these two players. As we get in the second key, Karcher needs Tekkito to find a break very, very soon to make it close.
Yeah, but there is still some hope for Karcher. Does have the accuracy, but there's another drop from Karcher. And that just might be it unless we see another miss from Tekkito within the next 15 seconds. But Tekkito's looking so good so far. Finds some accuracy drops. Has been shaking quite a bit, but holds on to the combo. And that is all that matters on most of these maps. Now at 1.2k, Tekkito has just been unstoppable today on these speed picks. And now just needs to hold on a little bit longer to close this one out. There's a big miss from Tekkito. But I think the damage has been done. Karcher only has 300 combo left. And I don't think there's going to be enough time.
There it is, Karcher finding a slider break to solidify it. Look at that, a 170,000 point lead for Tekkito, finally reaching 500k. He would have to completely fall apart. He would have to be finding chain miss after chain miss, which I really just don't see happening for Karcher to have even the slightest chance at a comeback. This is Tekkito's ballpark to speed. And I think that's just going to be it as we go into the last PI. It doesn't quite matter, unfortunately, for Karcher, the South Korean superstar. This is where his first and only Corsace Closed run will end, as Tekkito moves on to the loser's side finals round. Karcher will be eliminated at 7th place.
Yeah, certainly not a bad performance from Karcher. Has outplaced his seeding, of course, dealing with some technical issues early on, but has shown why he is such a good tournament player, putting out 500k on the speed pick that isn't really necessarily within his skill set, and showing that he can compete with some of the stronger speed players in the tournament. And Tekkito is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next stage of this tournament.
100%, and with a 6-4 victory, Tekkito proving himself, proving why he's been invited to this tournament once again. Last year he was seed 16. This year a much stronger showing as seed 8, outplacing his seed already by guaranteeing himself a spot in the loser side finals weekend. And that is going to be it for us.
Certainly is. Our next match is going to be 13 UTC tomorrow. That is going to be such a good match. Memrek versus Kriller. So make sure you stay tuned for that. It is going to be 11 hours from now. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I've been iFlame, joined today by Taikani, and I hope you guys all have a good night.